How to find a job in Australia as a foreigner. Oh mate, Australia is great. No wonder you're probably asking yourself, how do I find a job in Australia as a foreigner? Apart from having beautiful nature and vibrant cities, Australia also has one of the strongest economies in the world. Therefore, it comes as no surprise that it's a popular place for foreigners looking to work abroad. Can foreigners work in Australia? Of course, it's just not always quick and easy to get a job. But it's not impossible. Here we've compiled a complete guide on how to get a job in Australia as a foreigner. We also answered some of the FAQs concerning employment opportunities in Australia. Is it easy to get a job in Australia? Australian job market is very competitive. Not all jobs and skills are in equal demand, especially for foreigners. As a foreigner, the most in-demand sectors are hospitality, construction, and education. But worry not, it doesn't mean you won't find a job in other sectors. Generally, there are a few tips which will ease your job hunting process in Australia. Don't try to make a career change. It will be so much easier to find a job you already have plenty of experience with. It's important to look for industries that align with what you've been doing in the past. Get your visa well in advance. Recruiters in Australia are very hesitant to hire people who do not have visas already. The so-called right to work. There are different types of visas you can get, which we'll discuss more in depth in a separate section. Don't get a job just because. Since your visa is tied to your job, you can't leave that job. So, make sure you do your research before you accept the place. Because if you end up hating it, you'll have a problem. Speak the language well. For the majority of jobs, this is a tight requirement, for which you will also need a physical proof in the form of a language proficiency certificate. How to apply for a job in Australia. There are certain steps you should do before you apply for a job in Australia as an expat. Visa. Above all, you'll need to decide on the right kind of visa for you. To clarify, there are many different work-related visas. Without having one, you can't really start applying. More details are in a separate section below. Work visa in Australia. Resume, cover letter. Make sure you have your resume and cover letter ready and tailored. Don't recycle the same ones you used for job hunting at your home country. More details are in a separate section below. Resume and cover letter tips. TFN, ABN. Before you start working, you need to obtain a tax file number TFN, which is similar to your social security number. If you're self-employed, you'll need an Australian business number ABN. Both can be requested online. Australian bank account. You need to meet this requirement before you start working. It can be set up online even before you come to Australia. Job search engines. Once you have completed all of the aforementioned, visit online job search engines specific to Australia. More details are in a separate section below. Australian job search engines. Apply in person. This mostly applies for jobs which don't require specific skills. You can just drop in and try your luck. Work visa in Australia. There are over 20 different types of visas related to work you can get in Australia. As a result, it can be quite daunting trying to decide which one is the best fit for you when there are so many. However, there's really no need to panic. Since there is a plentiful selection for you to choose from, it only means there's a visa type which will fit your circumstances perfectly. Here we list a few types of visa which could fit a broad variety of circumstances. Types of work visas in Australia. Student visa. This visa allows you to work for up to 40 hours per fortnight, aka 20 hours per week, if you are enrolled in a course of study in Australia. Benefits. Easiest visa to get, suitable for students older than 6, you can bring a family member. Requirements, providing a confirmation of enrollment co. Other requirements. Graduate visa. This visa is for international students who have recently graduated with skills and qualifications that are relevant to specific occupations Australia needs. It lets you live, study and work in Australia temporarily. Benefits. It allows you to work full-time for at least 18 months. You can bring your family with you. Requirements. Be under 50 years of age. You must have held a student visa in the last 6 months. Skilled visa. The skilled visa is a type of visa offered by Australia for skilled workers and whose professions are within the most demanded by it. There are many different types of skilled visas. Benefits. It can be permanent, but it is quite hard to get this visa. Higher salary. Requirements. There are many different types of skilled visas, but generally, under 45 years have the right skills to do the job, meet the relevant English language requirements. Work and holiday visa. This visa lets people 18 to 30 years old, inclusive, have an extended holiday in Australia and work here to help fund their trip. Be careful, subclass 417 is not open for Americans. Benefits, online application. Stay in Australia for up to 12 months. Leave and re-enter Australia as many times as you like in the 12 months. Requirements, must be 18 to 30 years old, inclusive. Must have a passport from an eligible country. Cannot be accompanied by dependent children.